Smite game? What is it called? Hi-Rez TV?
To another update show. This should be the time that the patch notes or the update show, as you now know it, will be on from now on. So 3 o'clock in the afternoons and Eastern time. Over in Europe, it's in the evening, so it's a bit better over a Friday night before you're out. You can get.
Wait, it's good shit. Is it loud?
That's what you should be looking forward
Quiet.
to. On this patch, obviously we've got plenty to talk about. It's the divine.
Kind of loud for me,
Dragon
just
patch,
deafened me.
first of all. We're going to be having bug fixes, balance, and of course,
It's called Smite
skins,
Pro.
and part of those
That's good,
skins
man.
will be that Bologna tier 5. So stay tuned
I'm
for that later on.
loud.
But here's some of the skins you get to look forward to this week. We start things off with something that you guys have all hoped for a while. Chef Vulcan is finally going to be here with his meatballs and maybe some pizza too. He's been cooking up a storm. I don't know any other puns that I can think of. You've asked for it, you get it. There he is. It's Vulcan. And he makes meatballs. Next up, Midnight Raven Isis. She's off to the Masquerade Ball, and you can be too if you purchase this skin. Yes, I'm in sales mode today, and as you can see, those lovely flavors will help you fly around the map in the most elegant of ways. Finally, in the Isis, we've got Titanium Tracker Jabelonke. He's very good at tracking titanium, or hopefully stacks of his passive, which are going to be useful for him in this game. This skin will be lovely to look at a little bit later on. Look at that cute little scarf. And on top of that, the Admiral is here. No, it's not Akbar, it's Ao Kwang. He's got himself a skin. He looks almost human in this form as well. We'll see a little bit more of that later on. And last,
Okay, I want to think that's Susanna every time I see
we're
him.
going to have Heat Sink Pele coming to you guys as well. Yes,
Thick.
visor and some nasty looking blades for her too. And of course, last but not least, like I said earlier, we'll be talking about the Bologna skin. Don't show it yet. I'm going to make you wait. You're going to have to wait for the Bologna skin, okay? That's what needs to happen here. But that's it from me for a minute, because it's the most important part of the show next, which is all about balance, bug fixes, and of course, gods. Let's head over to John Finch and Pop Pop.
Thanks, Man. It is me, Finch, here.
Keep your back
What can
check.
only be considered an objective
Can I get some
upgrade
water?
over Aggro, who normally is the one on this patch note show. So I expect it'll be a lot better for you all here today. But it's not just me. I am, of course, joined here by Pon Pon. We're going to be going through, you know, not just those bug fixes. We're going through some big balance changes here as well in terms of items. And with gods, the new item y'all already teased. And I'm loving some of these god changes too.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, and we're going to have a little bit of spoiler for some other future stuff, too.
That's right. I saw that in there. I was personally very excited. We'll make sure that we at least hint at those for you all coming forward. But first, let's go ahead and start with those bug fixes. First off, fixed an issue where ramp up CC effects were not applying diminishing returns in the intended way.
Yes.
That sounds like a general bug fix, but probably a good thing to fix, right? If CC wasn't applying diminishing returns.
This basically applied to Chronos.
Okay, just Chronos.
So
okay.
it does affect Baron Somnia a little bit as well.
Sure.
But the ramp up effect is now classified so that it's the type of CC it ramps up to.
Right.
But that also meant it applied the diminishing returns that those types of effects do. So essentially Chronos was stunning and then stunning. So that actual FOP stun was much shorter than it should have been. So now Chronos players will actually have the intended duration of their stun, and that's going to be fixed for future ramp 2 effects that you might use.
That's a good idea. I mean, I feel like Emilito wasn't that strong on Chronos anyway, right? So let's just give him a little bit of extra love there, but that's not the only thing we're working on for today, Pon Pon. Let's take a look at the UI that we got some adjustments here with as well. Fix an issue where there was a few seconds delay after a time queue finished match making, but before you actually went into the lobby, that was a little bit scary. You thought you were back
like the
in
heart
the
attack.
queue. Thought you're back in the queue again, had to wait again, but that should be fixed. Fix an issue where the Masters dual loading frame was displaying incorrectly. So there's not as many Masters players out there as perhaps I thought, I guess. So that's
Yeah, the glitchy frames were part of optimization stuff that we were doing that got a little bit haywire, so it's being fixed.
Good, glad that's taken care of. Fix an issue where all team badge content was just showing as trifecta. That's one more that's been adjusted. And fix an issue where ranked quest progress was not being shown, so you should be able to see all that now. So glad we got that taken care of. Yeah, that's
pretty good stuff.
All right, let's go on Classic Joust. Looks like a efficient issue where tower collision would remain even when the towers were destroyed. I know there were some people that were saying, oh, the invisible towers, that sort of thing. I imagine that issue should be taken care of.
Some. There's many tweets about it, but yeah, we fixed it. It's definitely fixed now. The tower will go away when it's supposed to go away.
Okay, good. Everything should be working well. Now you all can go back to just not having fun in that mode because it's annoying. Because the new Joust is better. The new Joust is better.
It has some interesting stuff to it. It's actually been kind of cool to see people kind of relearn the mode.
It is definitely. There's some relearning. Some gods you didn't realize were quite strong on there, I think. So I've had some fun on it there as well, Pawn. But Morgan getting a little bit of updates here as well, just in terms of, you know, making sure that everything's working with her. First, the gold gains while transformed should now properly display on the UI. Added some extra functionality to prevent or reduce the chances of the bug occurring where she has no abilities for a short time after transforming as well. So some touches being done here on the Morgan.
Yep. Anytime I can go back and look at Morgan and find any bugs and fix them, it's always a good thing. She's a very complicated goddess. So especially the ability to use your abilities like after you transform. If it's delayed, it feels really, really kind of wonky, and it can also get you killed really quickly. So fixing that is a huge deal.
That's nice. Getting her updated. One more thing I think that was on here was that the fixing issue where the player camera would jump across the map for a brief time when transforming through her ultimate. So glad everything with her should be working as intended, or at least got these things touched up there. So nice to have Morgan looking a little bit better out there on the battleground. But Pawn, it's time to go to items.
Yeah.
And in particular, going to the new item.
Yes, BaRRaCCuDDa Shield.
BaRRaCCuDDa Shield. I know you all were really excited about this one. We did some spoilers for it. A lot of people, I think, kind of figured out the idea here, but this is the one, it seems like it's going to be kind of that auto attacker's item here, right? Is the one that we're looking for.
Yeah, definitely. And I think before kind of going into the stats it has, just kind of a more holistic approach to these kind of removed items that we removed from the game, potentially bringing them back in some interesting way. Death Toll is essentially what this item was for basic attack warriors. And the biggest thing that Death Toll kind of caused that created a very difficult balance situation was how early you could get it. So when we look at to bring kind of these effects back into the game to help those characters that really liked it, but not make sure it's broken in the state it was before, we look to see what's really, really powerful about that. So for example, this is Death Toll. It can be bought super early. Now if you're going to go into it, you're going to have to do kind of a weirder start because it's 1,700 gold. You can't just start with it. Other items like a Golden Bow, which might be the tease.
Oh, yeah.
For example, that item was particularly broken due to how early you could get it, as well as how powerful the effect was with crit, as well as how hunters abused it. So maybe in some capacity we can look at that and try and bring that item back in a way that doesn't cause the break cases that we saw before in the similar manner that we're doing to BaRRaCCuDDa Shield.
That's right. So the idea is sort of, we still want that effect. We want to be able to get that sort of play style, but maybe not as easily as before. So it looks like this will be sort of along the same lines as Gladiator Shield, I imagine, with this price point and all this stuff that we'll sort of go through here. So I'll go and talk to you a little bit about it. It is going to be 1,700 gold. You're going to get 25 physical power, 15 physical protection, 15 attack speed, but I really feel like it's all about that passive. Hitting enemy with the basic attack restores 1% health and mana. Basic attacks at all enemies in melee range restore 0.5% health and mana on every enemy after the first. So if they got like the cleave auto, I suppose, when that comes in.
Yep, and it's also a little bit more offensive than Gladiator Shield as well. We have the attack speed, more power instead of protection, so the other way around. And that's also because a lot of those basic attack warriors have kind of more defensive tools already in their kit, and so rather than amplifying that strength they already have, we're shifting it so that they can lean on that strength skillfully and then utilize this item well.
You think there's room to put both in there, or would that just be too slow for you?
I think 3,400 gold for not as much sustain as you could through just raw mitigations is going to be rough. You either use one better or the other better.
Sounds like you might end up having to choose which one's going to work out for you better, but the Osiris is out there. Should be, I imagine, a little bit happier with this change coming in there, Pawn. So
cool
that's
stuff.
The BaRRaCCuDDa Shield. And you teased as well, we might be seeing something along the lines of that Golden Bow, but without the throwing dagger part that was so frustrating, right? So hopefully we'll see that one out there later. But Gem of Isolation also getting touched up a little bit, going to be the next one.
Wait, what did I miss?
Nerf. So on this one, looks like we're going to change on this one, Pawn. Why'd we go to Gem of Isolation?
So Gem of Isolation is just an item that's very good at amplifying these kind of more tankier mages or the abilities for mages to really kite effectively. It gives them a lot of health in addition to that kiting power. It gives them a lot of power so that they can actually deal damage. So it's kind of this catch-all item that's really utilized well, especially in non-conquest modes. We see this item get picked up very often, utilized very heavily. There's a lot of high frustration characters in those other game modes that really utilize Gem of Isolation well. So we're focusing on what should its strength be, and we think the offensive nature of hitting opponents with your spells to get that utility is really where it's at. The bonus health made players too tanky when they picked this item up, decreasing the health a little bit so players have more counterplay options when trying to deal with someone who has Gem of Isolation. That's
right. It's all about, you should be making some kind of choice there, but you were kind of getting to have all that utility and be pretty tanky too. So just that health decreased from 250 to 200 on Gem of Isolation, but the next one coming up is going to be Mystical Mail, another item that getting a little bit of love, getting buffed here. And Mystical Mail now provides 20% crowd control reduction. So this is just kind of additive on here. Okay, talk to me a little bit about this one.
Yeah, so we see people pick this item up a pretty high amount, not like as most as like other items that we see, but people pick it up. But it doesn't perform that well statistically. So we're looking at a way to kind of bring up its power level overall. And there's things that we've done in the past that result in high frustration. If we increase the damage, it gets very frustrating. If we increase the
Yo, fine, okay, thanks for the host, baby. Sorry, I was
tanky and you can just
not here. Thank you so much, man.
increase the price or do any of those other adjustments, it can also cause some more issues. So we
I'm
decided
sorry
to
I missed
actually
it. Thank you
focus
so
on
much,
what it
man.
really at its core is trying to do is give you the tanky stats to get in melee range and stick on someone. And so crowd control reduction to reduce the peel that people can apply to you seems to fit that goal pretty well.
And this is a nice one, too, because crowd control reduction, it is certainly in the game, but it's not all over the place. It's nice to have one more area where you can sort of get this stat from, so I like that idea. Next up, though, on the list, gonna be Rage that's getting a look at. This one's getting buffed, so those hunters with the crit build get a little bit more love here. This one, this is just a decreased cost from 2,500 to 2,400, so not too huge, but maybe should make it a little bit more efficient to build into this.
Yeah, and we kind of look at Rage as the introductory item to crit, where players can pick this up like as the first time they get a good
I don't hate you, I love you.
When they build
I'm
the
sorry.
Deathbringer, when they build the Poison Star, when they build any of the other crit items, you already have that solid base of crit, so bringing the cost down helps enable those builds a little bit more.
Should make that one that you want to pick up even more often. You want to get those stacks going as soon as possible. Next item on the list is going to be Talisman of Energy. This one's also getting a buff. Decreased cost from 2,250 to 2,150, so about another 100 gold adjustment, but this time on a bit more of a defensive option.
Yeah, so we looked at it at kind of like removing the passive, what it does give you health and magical protection, and there's other health and magical protections that just do what that does better at different costs that are more accessible. And so since it's on the lower end of that spectrum, we feel like we could bring the cost down so that when you want to pick this up as this kind of health and magic protection item, you can, especially when you can actually utilize that passive component that really helps you enable your team to push forward off a minion wave. So players who can find opportunities to build this into the build, they see opportunities where they need magical protection, can pick this up and feel good about it.
Yeah, we've seen in the SPL at least some people picking this up when they're going in for their like final sieges, that sort of thing. This should make it a little bit easier to maybe get that last push going there and even trying to finish off some games. So I'm like what we're seeing here, Pond. We got some nice item recaps here taken care of today. In fact, we can take a look just at the recap of all the items we've gone over. The big one, of course, was the addition of Berserker Shield, that auto attack item over there that can help out some.
Where's Golden Bow?
Maybe even some other applications, as well as we've got some other changes here. You can saw Gem of Isolation getting a little bit of a nerf, but Mystical Mail, Rage, and Talisman of Energy all getting buffed. Those items can be just a little bit stronger. But Pawn, it's not just items that we're taking a look at today. We got some gods that we want to do, and we'll start from the beginning with the A's up here with Agni. It looks like Agni is getting a little bit of a nerf here in this one, in particular towards rain fire. That's going to be the ultimate, obviously. Decreased damage from 160, 195, 230, 265, 300. Looks like it's starting off at 140, going all the way back
Pawn
up
has
through
beautiful
300.
eyes.
So it's a nerf sort of at that top end, at the very beginning, but at the end, you'll still have that same amount of damage.
Exactly, and so I think the big thing here is to focus on is Agni has kind of fallen into a pretty good spot where people actually feel like he's actually doing well.
Yes.
Which is kind of rare for him. He's always seen as this kind of average character that fills the meta roles when he needs to. But he's consistently stayed in a very top spot for a while, and he's been slowly climbing popularity, win rate, ban rate. And so the big thing we looked at was his level 5 pressure. Once he gets that level 5 pressure, the jungle comes ganks, you get bombed immediately for a ton of damage, and you die. So we're decreasing that damage a little bit, but letting him scale at the same point because we feel like his late game is in a pretty solid place overall. I think the other thing to touch on here is the common suggested nerf for Agni is actually a mana cost reduction on this ability, or mana cost adding it to this ability. And so one reason why he didn't want to do that was he's kind of bounced around the playstyle he has of not having mana on the ultimate. For example, he always kind of has to combo his abilities with the Noxious Fumes, as well as it's kind of a unique aspect of Agni, a unique thing about that ability that it doesn't cost mana. You can use it when you use the charges. The charges are your limiting factor, not mana. And so we wanted to preserve that without making him too frustrating in other modes, or not other modes, and without being too frustrating to deal with in the early game. And so the big thing here is decreased early game damage, helps players deal with him early on when that's his most prevalent state.
Welcome back, Nostro. Thanks for the 16-month resub. Welcome back, baby. Thanks, man.
Pretty good spot.
He should still be, I mean, fairly strong in the mid game. I mean, it looks like, what, at 3rd rank, you're really only about 10 power from it. It's really just that initial
Zach, thank you so much for gifting
like it's really
10 subs to me, bro. Holy, thank you so much, man.
Overall.
What a terrible time to take a bite. But thank you so much, Zach, for gifting 10 subs, man. Thank you, baby.
If you're in these other
modes,
you. Then maybe it won't be coming as a surprise. Joust, Assault, those sorts of places.
Thank you so much, Zach.
Really a nightmare to deal with.
Well, what's interesting is actually all
of
he's actually doing really well, especially since we gave him his more anti-heal focus on his ultimate. That helps him fill this kind of conquest niche that he didn't really have before. And so that way, when you pick him,
dude, thanks so much, Zach. For real, man. Thank you so much, man.
Widespread anti-heal. I want to punish healers, and that's pretty healthy for him to be. But in those situations, we brought him way above in other modes.
Yeah, everyone thinks Zach. Tell him he's beautiful. Tell him he's awesome.
we're seeing
Thank
a
you
lot
so
of those
much, man.
modes
Thank
have
you.
a really hard time against him. And so we're looking to do targeted nerfs to bring him down in those modes, but not nerfs that are necessarily going to undo what we've done for him in Conquest.
Well, let's go through them a little bit and talk about some of those changes. First, Undead Surge. That's getting an increase.
Nah, Zach, you're good, bro.
Seconds,
Thank you so
14
much, man.
seconds,
Thank
so a
you.
little bit longer in between. We're going to be able to throw those corpses out.
No, I
Of course,
didn't, Reaper.
Explosion itself is getting quite a few changes, it looks
No,
like.
don't thank me.
This
Thanks,
is
Zach.
interesting.
Tell me,
Yeah.
tell me,
This
beautiful.
was actually a bit confusing for a little bit when we were discussing this. This was a change we actually did in 5.13, but we didn't
Oh, so it's already done.
So it's already there. He already has this in live. This is what people have been playing with since 5.13. It was a proposed nerf that we were going to do in 5.13.
Yo, what am I saying? Hell, Drake, thanks for the prime sub,
We were
baby.
planning to undo
Thanks
it,
so
but we
much,
never
man.
actually did.
No,
But it's
that's
there,
that's
and we
the
feel like it's actually
opposite of what you're
appropriate
supposed to do,
keep it there.
Box.
His stats are all showing that he's
Supposed to say
doing
you're
very
the
well with
best.
plays.
Well, there you go. That damage decrease that you're seeing
just
on
switch-
that's
switch
already in.
one
You've been
word.
playing with it, so now
Yeah.
at least
Hold
you know
on.
you should know about it a little bit more. So you know that one's already happening. But one other change here was Empty the Crypts. This one had the cooldown increase from 90 seconds to 100 seconds. I imagine since it's persisting now, it feels like it's a lot more just have it out there less off.
Yeah, the amount of zone control this ability provides now, the amount of anti-heal it provides, it's a much stronger
Wait, I
effect
can't-
than our traditional 90-second ultimates.
can't
So
copy.
we're just bumping
Right.
up to 100 so that
Oh, we got
when
some more
Outbox
codes.
chooses to play this down, if you are able to avoid it successfully or be able to get out
Let's
of it
do some
successfully
giveaways.
and kind of
Thanks so
wait
much.
Back, you
Thanks,
have more
Zach.
opportunity to get onto Opquash before he gets it back again.
What a world we're in, huh?
Yeah.
Quash. Getting some nerfs out here after a while,
happens.
but he's been strong for a while, so I like that we're seeing these. But let's move on to the next god here, Pawn. Going to be a hunter we're looking at this time. Apollo actually getting a little bit of love on this one.
Whoa!
Is getting, looks like getting an increase to the mesmerized duration. This is a pretty big deal, I feel like. It started off at 0.7, 1.1, 1.5, 1.9, 2.3.
Makes his, like,
now it's going to be 1.1,
level 3, 4, 5,
1.4,
6, 7 way
1.7,
better.
2 seconds, and then 2.3. So pretty
Like
substantial
1.1.
towards the beginning.
Yep. So I think the big thing here
That's
is
nice.
we gave Apollo his knockback up again on his ultimate.
Right.
We watched how he performed with that as players tried to learn it and trying to utilize it, and it didn't really move him in any substantial way, especially one that we were hoping for to bring him kind of more up into line with other hunters. And so we kind of looked at what Apollo brings uniquely to the table, and that's is kind of these extra utility aspects of his kit. So Serenade, the Mesmerize, is a very powerful CC effect, but the early ranks was 0.7 seconds, and it was very hard to actually utilize well, and like the way Mesmerizes traditionally are, which is you pop it, everyone stops attacking to set up what they want to do, and then they coordinate attack together. 0.7 seconds is just a bit too short for that, as well as the attacks, or not the attacks, the movement speed portion of the moves. We're going to bring up at the early levels as well, so that players can utilize that movement speed early on in the game. Because even when you hit an opponent with it and you get the buff,
Just
yourself,
make his one
there's
better.
only a 10% movement swing, which traditionally other abilities have stronger movement swings, especially at the first ranks.
That's right. This increased movement speed on the moves being increased from 5, 10, 15, 20 to 25% to 15, 17.5,
Whoa.
18.5, 25%. Again, both of these are the
Poggers.
same at that max rank. It's just early on
Yep.
when these are getting a little bit of love. And as you said, now Mesmerize or the
Buffing
Serenade
that
should
Apollo
be
early game,
a little bit
baby.
easier of a tool for Apollo to get the most out of in those
He can actually help
early
his team
ranks.
a little
So
bit now.
Some love going his way. Hopefully we'll see some more chariots flying around now after this change. But next we'll move on to the next god that's getting a little bit of
buff.
change here. It's going to be Chalk this time. Also is getting a buff. And this time it looks like Overflow is the one that's going to be changing.
Yes.
Why do we take a look here at Chalk?
So Overflow as a passive was just a bit. It's
like Raijin, right?
It provided a strong effect, but you didn't really play around it too much, and if you did, it wasn't the most impactful thing to play around. And so we wanted to give it a bit more oomph in decision making when it comes to players utilizing this. So when you have 5 attacks and you use an ability, that ability is basically free mana cost. We've now added to that, so it'll still do that. But at 5 charges, the ability you choose to spend that free mana on is also going to be reduced by 2 seconds. So if you want to throw your axe down faster, use the charges on your axe. If you want to do the teleport and spin to get the protections faster, use that. If you want to rain more often, use the rain on that charge. And so that gives an extra level of decision making to this ability, as well as helping Chalk players overall, especially the Chalk players who can use Chalk well, to be successful.
It should help them out quite a bit. Not only is it going to be cast for free like they already have, but you're going to have it back up even sooner to get back into the fray. And that's one of those things. Chalk kind of feels like one of the gods that does almost enough. So maybe this help pushes him over that edge a little bit, right? He's right up at that line, it feels like. But he's not the only warrior. It's getting a little bit of love. Sun Wukong is also going to be getting some changes here, and quite some significant ones to a couple of abilities. Before we go into them specifically, do you want to talk to me about why we want to adjust Sun Wukong here?
Sun Wukong is a character that kind of goes in cycles of being really strong and then being kind of out of the meta for a while.
That feels right. Yeah.
And he's kind of in that slump of not being necessarily in the meta right now. He has some opportunities to come in, but not as much as we were hoping for. And so we're going to give him some additional utility, but we want to be careful about how we give that utility. If we, like, for example, reduce the cooldown on the one, it becomes this really annoying poke tool that you're just constantly being hit by with the little counterplay. Having that on the long cooldown means that you're dealing with that less often. You have more opportunities to get in on Sun Wukong. And that
Yo, welcome to Eagle Light Bulb. Thanks, it's Ruzy for gifting him a sub, dude. Ruzy, thanks so much, baby. Thank you, man.
Kind of all at our previous nerfs and
first gifted sub. Thanks, Ruzy.
To give him a little bit of love, but not push him over the edge.
That's right. The way that we sort of handled that was that he does the bonus damage to minions in the jungle camp, which I like very much, and that's what this changes here as well. It increased on the Magic Cudgel the bonus damage to those minions in jungle camps from 25% to 30%, so his clear speed should be a little bit higher now, able to secure his own buffs a little bit easier and outclear some of those opponents that he has to deal with in lane. Master's Will is getting the decreased cooldown from 12 seconds to 10 seconds, and then 72 transformations, specifically the Ox form, is just getting that increased damage. Again, that's more towards the front end, where it goes from 50, 90, 130, 170, 210 to 70, 105, 140, 170.
That's a big buff up front.
And so Master's Will is an ability that you actually have to get really close in to utilize well, which is promotes kind of the more warrior brawler style, so we like that cooldown reduction. He's being rewarded for constantly being in the thick of the team fight and getting multiple ones of these off. As well as Ox form, the early damage was very low, which it is a lower damaging ability as a whole, which is why especially its base damage is low and it doesn't scale to nearly as high as, for example, Tiger or any of the other abilities. But 50 was a bit too low. It became a weird point where if you tried to actually spend a point to get it, you were often like hurting yourself, even in situations where it was good, like to disrupt a channeled ability by knocking them up. You would often actually be in a worse spot for having spent that point, especially in 1, 2, 3, than if you had just actually spent the extra point in the Magic Cudgel or the Slam.
Right.
Or no, Magic Cudgel or Master's Will.
Like, you've made the right choice in the matchup where you're interrupting, but you're losing damage overall for it, right? So this way, if you're kind of getting that counterplay or doing the right choices, you can feel a little bit more rewarded for it. So I definitely like that idea there on the Sun Wukong buff. We'll see a little bit more of him, I imagine. But I liked these with Poseidon. This one's considered kind of, I guess, a fixed buff, where there are some just buffs in here as well, but it's kind of just some change on it. We'll go through them, Pon, and you can tell me afterwards what happened here. The first one, we fixed an issue with Tidal Surge, where the moving deployable, which causes collision height to be shorter than intended, so that hit a little bit more efficiently, but also that ties in with the change to Kraken, where we normalize the knock-up height of this. So you could rank it up and change the knock-up height from this one, right? Is what's happening.
So multiple things that were weird here. One was the knock-up of the ultimate, which feels like a great setup for the one, was often not, because you knock them up and then the Tidal Surge would go underneath.
It'd be like too high.
And especially the effects. Actually, the effects are low to the ground, so it makes sense a little bit. If you get knocked too high, the effects go underneath you, you don't get hit. The actual collision box is actually lower than those effects, so you're basically being extra punished. Now they better match that height, so it's more often that you'll be able to actually land this. As well as we've normalized the knock-up height, which was kind of just this weird extra thing you had to know. For example, if you had the rank 1 of the ultimate, you'd actually often still hit your Tidal Surge, but late game, you'd start missing it, and it felt like this inconsistent experience. Now it is consistent.
I had no idea about that.
It does make it a little bit stronger in the early game, because the knock-up height is going to be higher, therefore you're knocked up longer. It's a little bit down on the late game, but the difference between those knock-up heights is going to be pretty minimal in terms of like what you'll notice when you play.
Yeah, the scale is it was leveling up. It started at 300, 325, 350, 375, 400. Now it's just 375 all the time. So you should be able to get the same timing consistently throughout the game to always make sure you're able to follow with Tidal Surge. But that's a bit of an interesting one. You just kind of had to know before to time it slightly differently, but now you should be able to consistently hit all those abilities.
Once you learn it, you've learned it. Good job. You've executed it well.
Should be a little bit more success than with some of those Poseidons out there. Hopefully, there wasn't too much frustration for you, but now you can definitely hit it every single time. But that is going to do it for the gods. Let's go take a look at all the changes that we've made to them. Again, Apollo, Chak, Wukong, and Poseidon all getting a little bit of love. Poseidon specifically more just making things a little bit more consistent. And then Agni and Apwash getting a little bit toned down. Apwash, was getting a little bit too strong in all the modes, and Agni getting a little bit of change there to the Rainfire.
Yep. Overall, this should help those characters out perform a little bit better, or the characters who are performing help players feel a little less frustrated fighting against them. And we'll keep all the feedback in mind. We'll see how it plays out. Look at 517 to make any adjustments if needed.
It was nice working with you here, Pon. Getting to do this. Yeah, who needs that aggro guy? He didn't even need to come back with the way that things went here today. But we'll get it back over to the Savage, the gambler himself, on the casual set.
So many names, and yet I'm still here doing the same old thing, eh? Well, if you missed the balance and update section, the one thing you really need to know is that Apollo will be in every single game buying BaRRaCCuDDa's shield. Or will he? We'll find out. Now, though, turning to the guests on the set here, we're going to be having Isaiah and Alvarin joining us from Esports and Community. How are you guys doing?
Doing very well. How about you, Hindu?
I'm not too bad. I can't complain too much.
You're back.
Nice to be on the casual set again, not strapped behind the desk.
Right, you guys got some nice, comfy couches over here.
It's not so bad. It's not so bad. Alvarin, first of all, then, what have we got going on in Esports?
We have the fall split starting next week. We kick things off this coming Monday, 11 a.m. It's my console league. And then the SPO starts in full on Tuesday at 1 p.m.
Okay, so we've got a lot to look forward to in terms of esports then coming forward. Obviously on console as well, remember, PlayStation 4 is going to be available on Mondays as well, not just Xbox, so even more links coming to you. But there's a little look at the first week of the SPL. Is anything stand out to you two at all in those?
Definitely game 1 on Tuesday, Energy versus Rival. It's going to be a good one.
That's a great way to kick off a split.
That early. Yeah. I don't know how it always ends up falls that we put two of the best teams together on the first day, but you know, it's good that the matches work out that way. But not only that with the esports, what else have you got from the Alpha?
We also have HRX coming up. It is the fall split. It is the last split of the year, and we are so close, so much closer. We are barreling towards the World Championships, and tickets are available now, so you should definitely get them while they're hot. You can head over to HiResExpo.com to pick those up.
I don't need to be here. You guys can do this without me. It's quite easy. Yeah, HiResExpo.com. Don't forget, though, we are currently selling as well on and off the after-party tickets, so keep your eyes peeled for those after-party tickets that will go up at relative times to purchase there, especially after the party. So, enough about esports. We could do that all the time. Community, what's going on?
Well, like, not enough about esports yet. Like, we got a couple of fan-favorite esports players coming up in 5/16.
We do?
The Spring Fling donation reward, Jeff Himla, BaRRaCCuDDa announcer pack, coming in 5/16. Tina gave me a preview earlier, and like, it's an instant equip for me. Like, I have to have it.
So we don't have it available on this now, right? Just so you know, but I'm pretty sure you'll get a leak of it sooner or later.
Definitely.
Or it'll be on the PTS too. But Jeff and BaRRa announcer pack.
Yes, it's hype.
Is
so
it
hype. Yeah, it's so good.
I'm so excited.
Okay, I'm excited to see what lines they put in themselves, and because I know they're asking the community for some lines too. So we'll see how that works on. And talk about community, stream days coming again.
That's right. A new adventure means a new community stream day. So next Tuesday, all you have to do is pick your favorite streaming platform, Mixer, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, stream the new Smite adventure, and then submit our form. Send us your VOD link, and we'll send you skin codes. It's that easy.
Just stream the game or streaming the adventure?
Streaming the adventure.
Okay. Yeah. Just want to check, because I like to stream.
That's right.
I'm a conquest
You got to be streaming
kinda.
the adventure. Ajax is super excited about this event. Like, I can't get him to calm down around the office.
Now, that's on Tuesday. We can get that if you want to stream the game there and earn yourself some freebies. But play up weekend.
Yeah, this weekend, grab your friends, party up, earn double rewards. 2 times favor worshippers and XP just for playing in a party.
Alvarin, we saw you play a little bit of Changar in a game of Skillshot versus Pros.
If you can call that playing, yes.
You're playing some more of that? Is that going to work out well?
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah?
I got to prep for the split, but, you know.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
You do.
Yep.
Five, obviously, players you were playing with consistently. You could go and make a team with them again.
I could.
Okay. Thanks for joining me, though, guys. Nice and quick and to the point. It's time, though, to move on to the skin section. Maybe I'll show you a little bit. I don't know. What skin shall I look at for a minute? Let's look at Bellona.
I was reborn from the flames of the Elder Dragons. They chose me to rally the strong and righteous and fight for all that is just at any cost. I, Divine Dragon Bellona, have arrived.
Well, there's your first little look at the Bellona skin. We'll dive into it a little bit later on. However, the one thing that you got to look forward to, though, is all the other skins before that. What I'll do, first of all, is introduce the people joining me on the set as per usual. Excuse me, I'm going to cough. This is what happened to Aggro that time when he did it, didn't he? He just started coughing around me. Ben, Tina, and of course, John joined us. How you guys doing?
Good.
What is that?
This is bread. Bread is my stress relief.
Baguette.
Baguette.
It's a baguette.
So it's a loaf.
Do you want to feel it?
You're pinching a loaf
wanna
on screen
feel
right
him?
now. Is that what's happening?
You want to
here?
feel him?
I have been off this section for a few minutes, a few weeks, and now
wanna feel
you're on
him.
set touching
Feel
bread up.
him. Okay.
Let's get in game.
He
Let's
smells
get on
good
with it.
too.
Vulcan skin. You guys have wanted it. Here it is, finally.
Yes!
Community requested. How much work has gone into this?
a lot.
Yeah,
Chat.
a bit. I mean, it's
All the spices, man. All the spices.
Sorry, Destiny.
the extra mile on this one.
Destiny just got back. So.
They can't see your hand gestures.
Tina, we're not on the screen right now. You just waving your hand
No one can
around
see it.
does not make any sense to those people at home.
Yo, thanks for 500 bits, Gray the Red. Thanks, baby.
On the back, he's got another knife.
Thanks,
I like
man.
that.
So we made sure that the concept was done by Rob Draws, and the fans loved it. So we wanted to make sure that we stayed as close to that concept as possible, and bring it into the game.
So he's got a pizzeria, is what we're going with. Then, right?
On his back.
Look at that meat sauce.
Yeah, dude.
It's saucy.
It is saucy.
Oh, I want a pizza.
That makes a lot of sense. And the backfire too. Ooh.
Yeah.
There we go.
Is that
What
like
is that?
tomato sauce he's firing?
Oh.
Or tomato sauce?
It's
I
like
don't know how you
like
guys
it's
say it.
that
Tomato.
mixed
He's
with some
steamy.
stuff like
Tomato, I'm
that.
sorry. I'm too posh for this show.
Check out the
New turret, a little meat grinder.
It's
That's
like
cute.
meatballs or something.
yeah.
I wish you saw the
Oh, that's
meat
next
going
one. That's
into it
meatball.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
like
Meatball.
if little
It's
meat
there.
just spawned and then.
Show me the real meatball. That's what I'm after. Oh, I like the targeter on that
Oh
too.
my god.
There it is. Look at all the sauce.
With a
So, for
spaghetti.
anyone who doesn't know, the Chef Vulcan skin actually did originate because people used to call the third ability a meatball because that's what it
Yep.
looked like. And ever since then, everyone's always wanted this Chef Vulcan skin, and
Look at pizza,
you
yes.
kept asking, and now we finally done it.
Now
Yes.
it's history.
The question is, though, what's the ultimate look? I love how it looks like a dining room floor, like the targeter of the ultimate team.
Oh yeah, the effects team got really
The
creative for
secret
this.
sauce, dude.
There's nothing better than a bit of secret sauce, 18 now.
So the missiles are cans of spaghetti sauce.
Oh, what, sorry?
The missiles? Cans of spaghetti sauce.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh, it is!
If you get up close, there's even like a Chef Vulcan like brand logo on the side and everything. Might be hard to see, but
Maybe you could slow it down. Yeah.
his face is on the
Yeah,
side and everything.
Pon.
I was about to
He's doing
call
it.
Pon out then, because he should be able to do that tech for
He's
us,
doing
hopefully.
it. Yeah, here we go.
Can he track the missiles? That's
What?
Pon's a
Catch it.
wizard.
Oh my god, he's getting good. He's getting good.
Secret sauce.
And a cameraman, please.
Oh, and it's
Pon's
like
really good at
spitting
that.
out
Yeah,
like
That is too much
cheese.
detail on those cans that you can barely see.
Yeah,
We
right?
want him to go. We want to come correct.
You
for this
artists go way too hard. Like,
going
no
the
one's going to see
extra mile.
those little written
Yeah.
details. It's great.
They just don't know.
Well, I do know it's got a VXG as well,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, dude.
What's this
Oh, he
VXG?
has a multitude of stuff.
one. There's a whole pizza.
You can
There
run
you
around
go.
with a pizza.
He's flipping the pizza, and you can run across the map with it.
30 minutes or less, or you lose the match.
I like that one. I like that line. That's a good one. What else is this to do with this? I heard there's also maybe a recall animation or something.
The brand new recall
Dude.
as well.
I mean,
That's really good.
oh, you did that one as well. Well, I think what it'll think on this is the voice pack. Oh, the pinch and salt.
Pinch and salt. They asked for it.
That's what that was.
It seems you want to be tenderized.
Perfect.
Community asked for it. They got
Wow!
I'm glad the voice pack sounds exactly as expected.
Bellissimo! I am the People's Vulcan. I
What's up,
am the
Lucas?
People's Vulcan. You are one juicy meatball. Somebody touch my spaghetti. Attack middle lane. Attack right lane. Attack the Titan. You playing well is like a good filet mignon. Rare.
Well, you'll get Vulcan, his tenderizer, and all that available in the next patch. Now, just so you guys know, this skin will be discounted, I've got here, only for the duration of
Let me laugh
5.16.
out loud.
So as soon as this patch comes out, get your Vulcan skin straight away, and you'll get yourself a nice little discount for doing so as well, and can run round with pizzas.
Yeah,
for
and
days.
thanks for the community for helping me write this because it's like 95% community written.
Everything.
all those
all the voice
lines.
lines?
This
Yeah.
is purely for
Yeah.
the community. Yeah.
I snuck in some ally tribute into it too.
Oh,
That's
really?
good,
This
man.
is definitely a community love letter.
I'll have to listen into that for sure. I did
Yes,
hear one or two
sure.
before I landed there already. Moving on then to Titanium Tracker Jabalonke is the next one on the list today. Now this is one of these styles that we've been doing a little bit more of here or there. I feel like it goes kind of with the Odin and the Zeus skin we've released recently. It's kind of like making that sort of...
So this is kind of very similar to those, but this
Yeah.
we add a little bit of fashion on top of it. to try to like just add a little more flavor for this one. So it's kind of like a modern ninja. So he's got like some well, maybe more like a futuristic one, but it's got some modern kind of clothing, some like techie stuff. But then it's also a cyborgy kind of ninja dude.
Why the scarf? The scarf's really interesting because it's like the only piece I've ever associated with the scarf has always been Naja. You know, just the sash, but.
It helps exaggerate like the movements, right? Like ninjas, like the scarf stuff just really helps sell kind of the flow when you do animation and stuff like that. So we thought it was cool to add.
Makes him
ban in SPL. Yeah.
Cool pattern going down it.
Dude.
Let's see what
it doesn't have weird auto sounds.
And the Embolas too.
It doesn't have weird auto sounds.
They're more like shurikens now.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Yes. I'm playing the skin every game.
Poison darts on
Dude, I'm playing the skin every game. I'm playing Shablanca every game.
And of course the ultimate too. Darkest of Night. All the effects at the end are nice.
The little grid walls. Yeah, very cool.
Dude.
That's sick.
I will use.
Okay,
dude, this skin's not banned. I'm using this at Worlds.
You guys were not very talking enjoying that one at all.
This skin.
We want the fans to hear the stuff.
Okay, see, that's what happens because everyone's like, no, shut up so we can
They
hear.
get mad at us for talking, so we, so you guys enjoy.
Let's have a listen to that voice pack.
Woo! Attack left lane. Attack right lane. Attack the Titan. Defend.
I'm playing the skin every game.
Woo! Top notch.
This is the best skin I've ever seen.
Skill. I'm the best there's ever been. Don't blink. You might miss your own death. You thought you could stop me.
Will you cover the fine I'll have to pay?
What do you get when you cross a ninja? Same as women, you just throw them over your shoulder. Oh, did you mean live never cross a ninja?
That was two voice lines together, guys. Don't get confused.
What is a ninja's favorite drink?
Oh my gosh, get me out. Moving on swiftly after that line. Tina, that was something to do with you for sure. Midnight Raven Isis, the masquerade ball is here.
This card art is gorgeous.
The card art's amazing.
Yeah, the card art's really great.
And in game, it actually looks really solid too, like with how this has come together here. So obviously, the theme is a masquerade ball here, right?
Yep.
And what was the inspiration behind this? Where do we get the idea from? Is it because she's a regal girl anyways, our Isis?
We saw the wings she has. We're like, we're thinking ravens and stuff like that. We're like, what could be something really cool to have added to that kind of theme, a masquerade kind of thing, right? So we started coming up with some cool designs, and as a result,
in your face.
One of our newest concept artists, Kiana Ham, she worked on it. She killed it, and it's like a really interesting kind of take on her. I think it's a little modern, but I think
the autos look so cool.
Yeah, and Isis actually is portrayed as a goddess of the moon, so it works out. The midnight moon kind of theme.
And I think some of these abilities, you'll be able to see some moons involved in them, that's for sure. Obviously, that's a Wingus too, but looks like planets there. I know the two, definitely the Spirit Ball looks like a giant moon. I had a look at this earlier on. It's like a moon of death.
I like that little note, that little keyboard note.
Death. It's going to get a review as well.
Up again.
That's exactly what it is. Obviously, it has silence too. You don't know, it's a protection shred.
Can you not?
But also
this skin's so cool.
Very OP ability. And finally, the ultimate. Is that staff in the middle she's got there?
Yeah, she actually deploys her
you
staff.
can't charge the
ultimate. She leaves it there. So
actually throws the staff down.
Yeah, so she doesn't hold her staff right now.
Oh, and the staff disappears. Yeah, that's really cool.
Until it's done and it comes back.
Do more damage,
the animations have really changed because some of the old school animations we see from season 1, season 2, they still have the spear in the hand or whatever, and now it actually goes away during those segments too.
We're trying to go back and revisit these old gods and really up the quality on them.
Well, this Raven Isis skin will be available in the next patch. Let's have a listen to that voice pack that comes along with it.
Attack left lane. Attack right lane. Defend. Fabulous. So you can dance. I'm the life of the ball. No, thank you. I would not like to dance with you. You aren't fooling anyone with that mask. I know who you are. I love masquerade balls. I don't have to worry about seeing your face. What do you get when you cross a raven with a moon goddess? A raven lunatic.
Okay, well,
we do have a VXG for this. This pawn is hooked up. There we go.
Oh, she's riding the moon!
So the stars, the sky, box and everything does change. FX Team KuDDa on this one.
Yeah.
Oh, look at the stars in the sky.
It's done by Mel.
It's really cool.
Does
on the
that
moon,
skyline change for everybody, kind of like the Anubis skins do when they use the ultimate?
I believe everyone should be able to see that.
That's cool. All right, that looks really different. It's like a nighttime version of Conquesta. And that happens in every game mode too, I guess. So that's really cool.
That is really cool.
I could almost just watch that for a few minutes quite
I
happily.
want to see her from the front. Pawn, can we see her from the front, please?
She waves at you and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
Is she waving as she goes around? Oh, she's like the Queen of England. Hello, hello.
Wanna shake Ben? Thanks so much, Zach, for gifting him a sub. Wanna shake Ghost? Thanks so much, dude. Zach, you're killing it today, bro. Thank you so much for gifting so many subs in my channel and Ben's, bro. Zach, I love it, baby. Thank you so much, man.
This is pretty crazy.
Thank you so much, Zach.
Has arrived.
Welcome, Ghost. Welcome, Ben.
Dragon in the background. I'm sure we'll get to that in a minute.
I love it, baby. Thank you so much, man.
It's a dragon. Okay, that's good. I'm just making sure. So he's still using a rapier. I was having this conversation about Pompon earlier about whether or not it was.
Wait, have I modded you yet, Zach?
Whether or not it was a
I gotta
different
mod my
weapon
old Halo
to do with
teammate,
pirates
bro.
or cutlass, but obviously cutlasses are a little bit curved. So
He's not really a pirate, though.
Is he not?
No.
I'm an you're right. You're right. He's an admiral.
He's a good guy. Yeah.
It was an evil Al Kwong.
Me and Zach, we're old Halo teammates.
Yeah, he's an admiral. He's a good guy.
One day,
first good guy
ago.
Yeah.
It feels weird. Al Kwong is a
he's
good
human.
guy.
Yes, the first skin that he's human.
Yo, look at those water effects.
Yeah.
They're really nice.
Dude.
You remind me a little bit of the Volcano Hebo. I don't know what the name of the skin is. The Hebo with the
They look like otters.
So the colors are obviously blue instead of red.
Yeah, for sure.
It has that tech to it. It feels like. Oh, those dragons are so pretty. I
They're
don't really
little
nerd out on
otters.
skins that much, but like certain animations and stuff, I'm
Wait
like,
till you see.
I like
Wait till you see what's coming next, man.
Yeah. You just wait, man. You just wait.
What's next?
Let's do it.
I mean, he's just a dude with a sword and some dragons.
Dustin's gonna turn him into an otter.
He beats you up and executes
Giant otter.
Here you go.
Oh my god, he's on a boat!
He's on a boat.
And he's on the boat.
He's
right in the front.
He's like on the front of the boat.
On a
dude.
boat. If you get this skin, guys, you just gotta play Lonely Island on cooldown the whole time. When you go
We were
around.
gonna put that in the sound
skin,
effects.
dude.
We thought it'd be trouble if we did.
I just want you to realize as well that
Boat!
this is our very
I thought it was
first
actually in the game.
pay-to-win skin.
Okay.
As you land in this boat form, it does do triple damage because it is a boat crushing into you. So that is what you'd expect. So.
Okay.
Yeah, we were super excited to find something thematic for the skin. That's not a
it's like we're gonna get sued.
Another dragon. So.
I mean,
put him on
It
a
looks
boat.
really cool.
Technically, it's a dragon boat. It's got a dragon head.
Exactly.
So
Okay.
Yeah, we had to redo the entire set of animation for this jersey. He killed it on it. And
this skin looks
felt
absolutely
totally
amazing.
cool.
This skin looks really, really fun.
Really amazing, yeah.
Let's have a little listen to this voice pack, man.
Yes. Attack left lane. Attack right lane. Attack middle lane. Defend. Spectacular. You're commander material. Call me Admiral. You can try and commandeer my ship. Emphasis on try. Pirates are never welcome on board. So I was eating alphabet soup, and all of a sudden, I found all 7 C's.
Oh, man. I was waiting for it. Where's the hook?
Oh my goodness. Man. For those who are confused in chat right now as well, we played the song I'm on a Boat. It's not in the game, chat. Stop being silly. That's the politest word I could use on air right then of silly. The production played Lonely Island for them as the skin came out.
No.
And now everyone's tweaking out that it's actually in the game. When really,
it's not in the game.
Copyright laws would technically prevent us from doing that.
I have an interesting fact. So if you guys ever watched Harlock Space Pirate, I think it's called Harlock Space Pirate. He's the guy, David Matranga, who voiced this skin as well. So.
Oh, okay. So we did the voice line for that, and he's also been in. Okay.
Like he's the main character. He's Harlock.
Gotcha. See, I don't watch that much anime or cartoony stuff, so I don't.
It's not. This one's not. It's
cartoony stuff.
Movie.
Okay.
It's like Pixar kind of, but darker.
Okay. And that's the same voice.
I think it's based on anime.
Otters.
Yeah, I think so too.
2 more skins to go, boys and girls. Let's move it along then to Heat Sink Pele. This looks really good. I mean, she's only just come out and she's already got a pretty badass skin here.
Yeah.
So what was the idea behind this one?
We want to do something sci-fi and cool. We saw a lot of cool color stuff with their base, and we're like, what if we change those colors to be more like sci-fi and like neons and stuff like that.
I like the addition of the visor. Like, just the visor being added to it just makes it a little bit more so of like more interesting. You could have not had the visor, but I don't think it would have sold it as well. You know,
it's hard to do visors. They cost more material wise. We don't have visors everywhere, so we went the extra mile with this one.
Love the look of this skin. It looks absolutely.
And we made sure that in this one, like usually she has a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
We try to really make it a little bit played down so that when she does have that ability hit, like you'll see it really flare up.
They look great.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've still not learned the ability names for Pele yet, so I'm not going to go through them, boys and girls at home. I'm sorry. But I do know that does a lot of damage and knocks.
These effects are so cool.
It looks really good. It's almost a completely different Pele.
The sounds are getting me right there, man.
It's such a departure from the original Pele, who's like organic and.
And that's why I'm so surprised with it being so new as well. Like, we don't normally do such big changes to it so quickly, but this looks amazing. That's obviously a speed steroid, the extra damage. And of course, it's going to have the ultimate too. Just see it ticking away, those little sparks connecting. The trail's amazing. That was the wrong way, Pon. You want to aim it. There we go.
Whoa.
It's like a giant thunderstorm. That's amazing.
Boom. That's cool.
That is really
It's got so OP.
What do you want to do first? Voice pack or I heard it's got a VXG?
It also has a VXG.
What do you prefer?
Let's go ahead and do the VXG.
Yeah, VXG. Oh.
Okay.
So this is really cool. So our animator Ali, who worked on this, kind of pitched the idea of free line skating, which I didn't really know was a thing, and then it looked really cool on it. So it's a rollerblade.
So she's kind of taking her blades and put them on her feet.
Yeah.
That's cool. And she just do that all around the map too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's going to be pizzas everywhere and moons
What a
and now
patch,
This patch
skating.
just has VXGs everywhere, man.
Everyone's getting VXGs
That is.
now.
This is really cool. It's it's actually really relaxing to just watch her like glide everywhere. Honestly.
To be honest, if you just saw it at the corner of your eye running through the jungle, you might think
Look,
it was
and you can use
nausea.
your speed buff with it.
Yeah.
The skatey
This is
atmosphere.
two najas and one patch.
Two najas in one patch. Yeah, I've got so many references to it.
It's good.
Maybe he's getting a buff next patch. Who knows? Well, let's move on then to the voice pack for the Pele skin before we move on to the final skin we've got to show you today.
Attack left lane. Attack right lane. Attack! Attack the Titan! Defend! Woot woot woot! You are pretty alright. Absolutely legendary. Aren't I just the best? Do not get on my nerves. My anger is quick and explosive. This thing is covering a lot of my face, right? So how does rain still get in my eye? Money doesn't buy happiness, but it buys so much other stuff.
It's got a very stern voice to this one, hasn't it? Where she's very serious about it, but at the same time, when things are going well, she'll be happy.
Yeah.
Is what you'll look forward to in that. That's Heatsink Pele. That'll be available in the next patch. And last, but certainly not least, we've all been waiting for it. It's finally here. It's the new Tier 5 skin, Divine Dragon Bologna.
It is time.
This is the ultimate reward from the Divine Uprising.
Poggers?
We've already seen little clips of this. I'm really excited. I've not actually seen it in game myself yet, so this is my first time seeing it too. And I believe it changes based off stance, right?
Yep. Yes.
Yes, on the ability that you use.
Dude.
Yeah.
So tell me through the design choices of what we went for and where, what was the reason for each, I guess.
So
she looks like she's straight out of Final Fantasy.
We wanted to have her be like a champion for these kind of like dragons. So like with each stance change, we wanted to have like a different kind of dragon form that she works for. So you'll see as we go through the different types, there's like a hammer one, there's like the whip, and they all kind of have different colors and different themes to be like an avatar for these different dragons.
Amazing.
Dude.
Yeah, her shield's dope.
You just put Ares in that right now and feel at home as well. Oh, it's hammer time.
This one's a favorite.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, upon slow-mo, letting you just absorb.
Yeah, sometimes you don't need
detail
words.
work.
Just
yeah,
watch the animations and see how
so
amazing
much
look.
work
I
to
love
went
the
into
flaming
like
hammer.
all three different models here, and more.
That's his favorite one.
Yeah, this is my favorite.
My favorite's green.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Your favorite's green.
My favorite's green.
Which one's green? I've only seen
Green's
blue and
flail.
red. Oh, it's
That one.
Scourge time.
Oof.
Okay.
She really reminds me of a dragon. And she's really horny. Horns.
Horns are always important.
Yes, she has horns.
To signify dragons.
Horns.
That's what it's going to be.
So we try to make sure that each of the visuals of each of these felt appropriate for like the there's the whip's like more fast and like it's like it looks more like lacerated, more critical strike kind of feel to it. So we made sure that she felt a little more nimble and quicker and agile, but still like had aggressive shapes on her. With the shield and stuff, we want to go with more of like a traditional kind of like armored warrior kind of person, and then with the hammer, we wanted to make sure it felt really kind of
meaty,
just real aggressive.
Yes, meaty.
Dude, those auto attacks are so cool.
Face.
God, those just on their own, that's amazing how quickly they transform fluidly as well.
Yeah. There was a lot of work put into making that happen too.
I can imagine that's probably the difficult thing, because like such a quick animation to be able to make it turn and look good as it turns.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's only one facet of it, right? I mean, tech art, like Chris Miller and Jeff, like on that team, those two guys really helped carry it home.
Oh yeah.
I love the little mark of the scourge with the disarm too. You could just see like the green effect that connects with them too, which is awesome.
It's my favorite one.
Gives you an idea about it as well.
Hey, so she's got this ability.
All right,
it's so dope.
Get ready.
This
is pretty cool. Oh,
it's
on
a
the
dragon.
ultimate, she summons a dragon.
That's right.
That's amazing.
Breathe it in.
And she's gonna be in the sky the whole time the ult, so that's great.
Yeah.
You can see it from like everywhere. It's really cool.
Well, you know when Bellona's ult's down, then I guess that's gonna help in a lot of ways too. As the eagles really wow.
Yeah, it's fun.
Oh, the game's gonna break. Oh, the game's gonna break. The game's gonna break.
So much fun.
You can't do this in game.
You can actually do this.
Yeah,
in
you can at home, not really going to happen. Maybe if you play one of the infinite cooldown modes that are available now and again.
You can summon a dragon that you can do.
There may be a VXG.
Oh.
There may be a VXG.
Another VXG?
You just
on
spoiled
another
it
skin?
before we get to it, Tina. What the heck?
I'm sorry.
We're still looking at the ultimate.
There you go.
Oh.
So you actually summon a dragon.
No way!
For the VXG that flies around the map.
Wait,
and
what?
It can disappear.
It just flies around the map?
Fly the map. All maps. It works on all maps.
See, look.
You have to hear this giant dragon's roar. Is real cool.
You can hear it, yeah.
What?
No way. So she's literally could just spawn a dragon that's just going to chill and fly around the map.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Gold Fury when it spawns, sort of
Correct.
thing. That's crazy. And that works in every game mode too, obviously, yeah?
Correct.
I'm really scared of the future of Smite sometimes when you guys do this stuff, you know? Because like I'm like, okay, so not only are we gonna have these gods all battling out in the arenas, we're also gonna have these other mythical creatures flying around the map doing battle, right? And it's like, oh well, I lost the fight on the ground, but at least my Pokemon in the sky did well. You know? That's the main thing. This game looks awesome. What's next on this? The voice pack then, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
She has 3 different personalities.
Really?
Yeah, she has 3 different voice packs.
So each stand she's
Attack
in.
left lane. Attack right lane. Attack the Titan. Yes! Proud of you. Attack left lane. Yes! Proud of you. Attack left lane.
Someone's lying to me because I don't hear 3 different voice packs right now, Tina.
You have to play like abilities and what do you call them? Jokes and stuff, and taunts. They're different.
Try the jokes and the taunts, Pom
Yeah,
Pom.
do the taunts, Pon.
Get it right, Pom Pom.
You are powerless against the Dragonborn. Resistance is futile, mortal. Why are dragons large, gold, and scaly? Because if they were small, pale, and smelly, they would be humans.
I'm offended.
I would really like to avoid fighting you, mortal.
You see, like there's
Sometimes I wonder if
definitely hear
peace
it now,
between
yeah.
dragons and humans is worth fighting for. But then I remember their smug faces, and I'm ready for war.
Now this skin comes from the Divine Uprising, which has been the event that everyone's been doing
Correct.
for and grinding for so long.
Yeah. If you purchase all 3 chapters, you get this.
Okay, so all you have to do is purchase all 3 chapters and you're done. You can just get the skin. That's great. That dragon is so
Hey,
insane. don't
don't miss it. This is an amazing skin.
miss it. This is an amazing skin.
This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This is an amazing skin. This
I just don't know what to say about this patch because there's so many good skins here. I don't even know which one's my favorite right now. I'm kind of sold on Admiral Akbar or Alcorn, really. Whenever I hear Admiral, I'm always going to say Akbar. I can't help it.
I mean,
trap,
he can say, yeah, he can lay traps
I mean,
for you.
He's got a boat, but then Balon's got dragons now.
Yeah.
And then Vulcan's got meatballs and
pizzas.
And
Yeah.
pizzas. It's a rough
Every skin,
situation.
every VXG, it's worth it, man.
Crazy. Favorite skin?
Oh, the T5.
Yeah.
It's got to be the T5.
Are you kidding?
Yeah,
It's 3 skins in one.
I think Chef Vulcan, honestly.
Chef Vulcan.
Oh, Chef Vulcan.
I'm all about Bologna, man.
It's
That
all about
dragon.
Bologna.
I just
The
want
dragon.
some of that dragon VXG, you know.
Chef Vulcan also has an announcer pack.
I forgot to mention that.
Yeah, he also has
before
an
we
announcer
go,
pack.
the
So
last
I
thing
wrote
I'll
one
mention
for
is
you guys.
there's going to be an announcer pack alongside the Vulcan skin, right? So you
yeah,
guys
it's in the
can get
it's bundled.
the interesting Chef Vulcan announcer pack with that too, as well as the Jeff and BaRRA announcer pack that's going to be available too. But that's all we've got time for today. Patch.
Perfect time for scrims.
Week on Tuesday. Is that generally when it is?
Yeah, a week. Another week in Tuesday, yeah.
And the PTS will be out relatively soon. Keep an eye on social media. I'm sure we'll announce what it is. I don't want to turn around and say tonight just in case it's not. But generally, they try and get it for the weekend as well. That's it, though, from everyone here on the Casual Set and the Update Show. We'll be back in 2 weeks' time for some more action and adventures. We'll see you later. Have a good evening.
Cool. That was an awesome patch, actually. They didn't really buff anything too much. I didn't see the Berserker shield. I think that's just an auto attack glad shield. Right, chat? Just like an auto attack glad shield. They said they were thinking about bringing back Golden Bow. If they bring back Golden Bow, it's kind of scary because a lot of low clear hunters are already really good. So like, imagine like an Artemis right now with Golden Bow, but it would obviously help out gods like Cupid a lot. Cupid, X-Ball, like all of those would help those out a lot. What are the other buffs? Apollo buff. Apollo buff's pretty nice. You can take like 2v2s way easier in lane. With the mezzas. And yeah. Good patch. Good patch. Skins were sick. Alright, chat. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please follow if you want to support me. You can check out all the links below the stream. All that stuff and other supports me and helps me out. Love you guys. I got scrims. Sorry. Can't hang out. Yeah. Love you guys. Bye, everyone.